Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Vanessa, a naturopathic doctor with Brio Integrative Health in Richmond, BC. Welcome and thank you for all those who are joining for the first time, and of course to any return viewers. Please like this video if it resonates with you and share it with anyone who may benefit. A quick reminder that Brigo, the Brio Bingo contest. Hopefully this looks familiar by now. The contest is still running, and you can download the card off our website. That's yourbriohealth.com, and play for a great chance to win some amazing prizes, including free IV, could be helpful for immune health at this time, and a Bowen session as well. For today's talk, we'll be focusing on skin health. To me, healthy skin is beautiful. And when I say an inside-out approach, I can't help but think of the Disney Pixar movie Inside Out. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's about a girl named Riley who's uprooted and moved to San Francisco, where her emotions, mostly anger, disgust, sadness, joy, and fear, and for those who have moved during childhood, I'm sure you can relate, these emotions battle it out as she adjusts to the changes. And by the way, animations always have smooth, flawless skin. Artists rarely bother to add imperfections to the complexion and tone of even the biggest villains. But that's not real life, is it? In real life, these so-called bad guys, even normal people, we tend to stay up at all hours, abuse our bodies through diet, substances, and general neglect, and we live high-stress lifestyles. Although most of us aren't, constantly looking behind our backs for fear of retribution, we do, look, over our shoulders, like under our shoulders and down our noses, scrutinizing ourselves in the mirror, trying to figure out what is going on with our skin. So over the next 40 minutes or so, I'm going to cover things like what you should or shouldn't put inside or in your body, how to protect your skin from the elements, also through working with the lymphatic system, which is often forgotten just below the skin surface. Also protecting your skin, which is the front lines to how we interact with our environment. And also I'll mention a few helpful supplements. So beauty and confidence do really start with what you put in your body and taking care of yourself. This includes emotional awareness and regulation. That's one message the film Inside Out really nails. Skin is of great physical and emotional importance and often overlooked. Looking your best is synonymous with feeling your best, in my opinion. Skin and mucous membranes are how we interact with the outside world. Not only does it provide a physical barrier, but its appearance also affects our feelings about ourselves and people's first impressions of us. Skin allergies and sensitivities, such as eczema, psoriasis, rashes, acne, etc. All these things can profoundly affect our social and psychological development and health. Unfortunately, I won't have time to get into the specifics regarding these conditions today. I'll be keeping things more general and address things like skin dryness and premature aging, wrinkles and photo aging. And if eczema is specifically your concern, I did do a segment a couple weeks ago and discussed also some of the wonderful uses and benefits of clay. So again, you can look for that on our website. So what we put in our bodies, diet probably is what comes to mind. So generally speaking, I encourage you to really listen to your body and pay attention to the signs. That's feedback it's giving to you. So dehydration and fat malabsorption, these are things that can be observed in the toilet bowl. If you are brave enough to look. You shouldn't just accept outside advice, mine included, as bio-individuality, knowing what foods are right for your body, is something that is learned through personal experience. Of course, things like avoiding refined sugar, white flour, food additives, processed foods, known food allergies and sensitivities. If you've had a chance to be tested or done like an elimination challenge diet, avoiding those types of things can certainly make an impact on dry, rough skin. Candida overgrowth in the gut is also associated with dry, flaky skin. So that's what we put in our bodies. Now on our bodies, on the skin, I don't wear that much makeup. When I was younger, I certainly had more acneic and reactive skin. And wanted to express my personality through the use of cosmetics, typically really bright eyeshadows. Luckily, as I got older, sebum production and diet became more balanced, and I feel pretty great most days, just with simple moisturizer and a mineral-based sunscreen when needed. I'm lucky in this regard. COVID-19 has also made this way of dressing up my skin, or rather dressing down, more normal. And I think that's a good thing, to let our skin breathe. Still, I wanted to take a moment to gush about a makeup artist and icon. Maybe you've heard of her, Bobbi Brown. Her approach to beauty, I was pretty stunned when I found that she had quit, the cosmetic business after 25 years and gone on to pursue a new business in a line of wellness supplements. So her approach and what she advocates for is, being real, enhancing who you are instead of striving to be perfect and masking perceived flaws. So I think that's kind of radical in the beauty industry. As I mentioned, a couple years ago, she did launch a wellness line of supplements because she recognized that a look that is always on point is looking healthy. And that does typically start with the diet. And it's not something that you can buy from the makeup counter. Skin, hair, and nails are often treated kind of together. Things that benefit one tend to have a ripple effect in those other body areas. Dr. Karen has already done a great segment on hair, and nails. Nail health is closely related. But I wanted to talk about skin. because it's a much bigger area. In fact, it's the largest external organ, and it's a living, breathing thing. So, like a hairdresser, I think makeup artists hear a lot about their clients' lives, even though it's certainly harder to gab, I imagine, when they're trying to precisely apply makeup. Also, though, you know, hairdressers and cosmeticians, estheticians, they're really experts in their own right and have seen so many faces up close that it's only natural to ask them about issues you're having with your skin. I've certainly asked an esthetician or two about some minor, non-medical skin-related hang-ups and mysteries that I can't figure out myself. Health and wellness challenges do show up on the skin, and especially the face, where we have more sensitive and thinner skin typically. The face is also an area that we can't easily shroud with clothing. If you have skin issues that manifest on your arms or legs, even your trunk, summertime can be, a time of stress when the weather warms up and it's more natural to wear clothing that exposes more of our skin. So feeling the need to stay covered up, to hide any skin issues that you're not proud of, when the weather gets warm can be really unpleasant. Just, being sweaty inside those layers and not able to, enjoy, a cool breeze or just the pleasant warmthness. But also it can be detrimental if we are, staying too wrapped up and not getting a healthy dose of vitamin D, which is synthesized through our skin and involves the liver and kidneys too, but a natural source of vitamin D that we all have access to for free is the sun. Further, dressing too warmly does cause most of us to sweat, and sweat itself can be an irritant to any skin lesions and issues. Since I talked about the sun, I'm going to just spend a little time on sun protection. I'm focusing on an inside-out approach, but protecting yourself, protecting your insides is also something that we must consider. So the UV is something, ultraviolet light, UVA, UVB are things that are a concern. And hopefully I don't mix this up, but I believe UVA is the one that causes burns, and UVB, B is burn. Yeah, UVA, A for aging. So premature aging is caused by UVA, and oftentimes the burning and redness that precedes it is caused by UVB. So you want to look for a broad spectrum sunscreen. And there are physical and chemical sunscreens. Often we're told, and even on the bottles, these are of the chemical sunscreens, that you should apply them 15 minutes before sun exposure. And it's because the active ingredients need time to bind to the skin. There's a reaction that takes place. Whereas physical sunscreens, more natural types that contain ingredients like titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, kaolin, that's a type of clay, talc, etc., they work instantly because it's like a physical shield. So it's not a bad idea as things heat up over the next few months to carry some portable physical sunscreen that you can apply as needed. These are a couple of products that I use. One is a mineral powder, and I just really like the feeling of it. And then also a natural mineral sunscreen here. It's an SPF 30, and it has non-nano mineral zinc oxide, vitamin E, and green tea. So the vitamin E and green tea are sources of antioxidants. That is also protective. And something interesting is that simply being in the forest, so you may have heard of forest bathing. This is a practice that originates in Japan. Being in the forest when the sun is really hot, tree shade provides its own SPF. You know, some traditional tips for sun safety are to find shade. And so, you know, a forest, depending on how dense the canopy is, can provide an SPF anywhere between 6 and 100. That's a really wide bandwidth. So, you know, don't rely completely on our plant friends. Even a single tree, depending on, you know, how, again, dense the foliage is, can offer a sun protection factor of anywhere between 2 and 50. And I just wanted to mention again, in case anyone has questions, please feel free to pop them in the comment box. I might not get a chance to address them right away, but I'll certainly do it at the end at least. Okay, so that's SPF and UV. And also a little tip is when you look at the weather forecast, there's usually a UV index. And anytime the UV is 3 or higher, that's a time you should have a sunscreen on. Sunscreen of, or sorry, not a sunscreen, a UV of 3 to 5 is considered moderate. And so for the average person, it would take between 30 minutes and 45 minutes to burn. And so sunburns are, you know, an immediate concern, but sun exposure has also been linked to skin cancer. And so just a word of warning, you know, teenagers aren't always the most sun smart, and children, especially young children, rely on their parents to apply sunscreen. So they're a bit more vulnerable, and also their skin is less resilient. And so it's been found that just 2 childhood sunburns, you know, more moderate to severe sunburns, increases the risk of skin cancer and early skin aging. So at a time when we're not really concerned about our physical appearance, wrinkles, that type of thing, we may already be setting into motion a trend. And how much sunscreen we need for the typical adult, it's about 2 tablespoons, and under applying definitely, you know, decreases its effectiveness. So it never hurts to put on a second application, especially, you know, after swimming and sweating, towel drying, because that's physically, you know, lifting off the layer. Okay, so now I think I'll talk about the lymphatic system. So lymph and circulation kind of work together. There's a pumping motion, and what they do is they remove waste and they increase blood flow, which brings nutrients and oxygen and things we need to thrive. So lymph and blood, movement we know increases circulation. Lymph is also something that is really responds to a gentle touch. You can get a deep body massage, a deep tissue massage, or a lymphatic massage, which it feels so gentle. It's like a light stroke. So something that you can do for yourself is dry skin brushing. So this is a dry skin brush. There's all sorts. There's ones that are more of like a full handheld brush. And, I don't think you really need any specific tool. Even a rough washcloth could work. And the general instructions are to use short, light strokes, starting from the feet up to your face. And you always want to be moving. You always want to be stroking in the direction of the heart. And not only does this increase flow of lymph, which is a part of our immune system, but it also is gently exfoliating to help with encourage skin turnover and slough off those dead skin cells, and it helps strengthen energetically our boundary. Again, the skin is our front lines, and keeps our insides and what's outside in the environment separate. In the world of mind-body medicine, a lot of skin issues are seen as a dysfunction in your boundary or your barriers with other people. So that's an area that you might want to look at if you have a chronic skin problem that isn't really explained by anything else. Now I want to move on to supplements. One supplement or nutrient that has come up a lot lately is collagen. Collagen is the most abundant type of protein in our bodies, and there's at least 16 types, but we don't always hear about any really beyond type 5. And that's because 80 to 90% are just type 1 to 3 collagen. So some of the general benefits of collagen are that it's anti-aging. It's often touted in joint and skin health. You can take a supplement. I have a few here. A collagen hydrolysate, just unflavored gelatin, and that's what's in Jello. This is just the essential stuff without the flavor and sugar. Also encapsulated, that's really convenient. It even says skin and nail care on here. And I've also seen it as drops that you can add to your water. So the first type 1 collagen. This makes up 90% of our hair, our skin, and our nails. It's also a large component of bone, organs, ligaments. And it prevents aging, of skin, so things like thinning and stretch marks too, and it improves thickness, function, moisture content, and the overall appearance of our skin. If you're really looking for those skin benefits as opposed to joint benefits, then it might be advisable to get a marine sourced collagen. So typically from fish. It's been shown to be 1.5 times more bioavailable, so more easily absorbable and integrated by the body than land-based, so chicken or beef sources. Chicken happens to be the primary source of type 2 collagen. This is the one that's immune boosting. When you hear about chicken soup for a cold, that's due to the collagen in the chicken. So that one, type 2, that's for immune boosting and joints. But actually, I think it does relate to skin health because it's a major component of our gut lining. And our gut health is critical to digestive and immune function, but also the skin. You know, a dermatologist that's kind of well known in the media is Dr. Whitney Bowe, and she talks about something called the brain-gut-skin axis. So how your mood, your digestive organs, what you eat, and what your skin looks like are all connected. Lastly, the third, of the 3 most important types of collagen is type 3, and that typically comes from a cow or a bovine source. Type 3 is what makes up the walls of our arteries, so it's definitely got a role in cardiovascular health, issues like hypertension, atherosclerosis. If you have, health concerns in that area, I also did a master class, a longer presentation on that, I think back in April. Type 3 is often found where type 1 is in the body, and it shares similar skin and bone benefits. Okay, now biotin. So this is a type of B vitamin. And while a deficiency is rare, a deficiency is related to a scaly dermatitis or skin inflammation resembling seborrheic dermatitis. So that's the word for cradle cap, or kind of a greasier yellow-brown flaking. It's also been associated with brittle nails, alopecia, so that's abnormal hair loss, and a grayish pallor, like a gray tinge to the skin. So where can you get biotin? As a naturopathic doctor, I do always encourage people to first address their diet to see if they can get these nutrients from foods before just turning to a supplement. So where you can get biotin is egg yolks. This is important, the yolks, because there's something in egg whites called avidin that prevents absorption of biotin. That's specifically in the raw egg whites. So cooking it, there's no concerns. Liver, meat, fish, poultry, dairy. I think the trend here is just sources of protein tend to have biotin. Also some vegetables. Although, animal-based proteins is one of the best sources, it has been shown that vegetarians and omnivores have similar levels of biotin in their body. So it's not really a common deficiency, but you don't necessarily have to have an overt deficiency to start manifesting some of these symptoms. So it is worth a try. Biotin, just a little bit more about it, is that so it's easily found in our diet, and it's synthesized by intestinal bacteria. So where someone can get in trouble is consuming a large amount of egg whites. I don't know anyone that does that, but I know it is a trendy thing to have lots of eggs. Think about Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. Someone that's relying on parenteral nutrition, so tube feeding, or has like a short bowel, or is chronically taking antibiotics for their immune system. Also, with some absorption issues, like celiac, it may also be possible. And I keep thinking of more smokers, because breakdown of biotin is higher. Not only biotin, but also vitamin C, and therefore it has an effect on collagen. If you ever notice that smokers tend to have more wrinkles, deep wrinkles in their face, it's because you know, the ingredients in typical cigarettes do deplete the natural antioxidants, including vitamin C in your body, which is really instrumental to the formation of collagen. And lastly, biotin needs are higher in pregnant women. Up to 50% of pregnant women have been found to have a biochemical deficiency because there's an increased rate of excretion of biotin when someone is pregnant. And like things like folic acid, vitamin B9, it can be treated with just a prenatal supplement. But biotin isn't universally available in all prenatal supplements, so just check for that. And the last supplement that I wanted to talk about, this one also has a food link, is lycopene. So lycopene can be found in tomatoes. It's an antioxidant carotenoid. So lycopene is what makes tomatoes red. So carotenoids can also be found in things like red bell peppers, carrots. I wanted to say there's a type of orange, sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn, that's high in C and carotenoids. And there's a high concentration in human skin of lycopene, in similar or even greater amounts than beta-carotene, which we associate with carrots. So sun exposure, which we talked about earlier, depletes skin concentrations of lycopene. And just something simple that you might be already eating, tomato paste or tomato sauce. Tomato paste, of course, is more concentrated. So it's been shown that having 55 grams per day of tomato paste, within that is about 16 milligrams of lycopene. Eating lots of tomatoes and tomato products for just 12 weeks, so that's 3 months, has been shown to decrease photoaging. Lycopene, as mentioned, is an antioxidant. So all antioxidants, this can be, soy isoflavones. That one is really particular to women who are peri or postmenopausal, as you lose the elasticity of your skin as levels of estrogen decrease. green tea, vitamin C, E, A. Let me see if I can think of some other ones here. Even flavanols in chocolate, and something, I'm not going to say the Latin name, but a fern leaf extract, things like xanthus, oh, I'm utterly failing at saying that one. It starts with an X. I'm going to move on. But I'll definitely write it out in my summary so I don't cause any confusion. The one with an X, it's often found in the shell of shrimp. All potent antioxidants. And some basic advice for dry, scaly skin is just thinking about if you're protecting it from the elements. So, the best time to put on moisturizer is after a shower because it opens up the pores, but also as it's opening up through the warmth of the water to release oil and dirt and things that are trapped. It's also letting out moisture, hydration. So you want to replenish that. And ideally, you want to, replete the moisture through lotion or cream within 3 minutes. Don't, madly dash and slip in the bathroom, but, as soon as possible, just to pat dry and then lotion up. Also, overbathing. Of course, hot water does have a more drying effect because it's pulling things and, leaving those pores open and vulnerable. Using harsh soaps that overclean and remove some of the natural oils that keep, a good level of hydration in. And these things can be overcome with healthy fats, essential fatty acids. And of course, we think of things like fish oil, flax oil, but even some unrefined sunflower oil or some less expensive oils that you might already be using as salad dressing or in your regular cooking can be a source of EFAs. People who, going back to the diet, who consume a lot of unhealthy foods, trans fats, processed overcooked foods, that interferes with our utilization of omega-3 fatty acids, essential fatty acids. And so your requirements might be higher than others, and it may be beneficial to supplement. Also, long-term increased consumption of polyunsaturated fats, including essential fatty acids, do increase the requirement for vitamin E. So it's always good to check. Medications can deplete nutrients, but also supplementing with nutrients beyond what someone would normally get through the diet can down the road also cause imbalances. So that's why I always advocate for food-based enrichment first. And earlier I mentioned there's certain skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis. Those are, I think, the most common. But also there's some non-skin related factors like hypothyroidism and menopause that can lead to dry skin. So, when, the basic things like, warm, not too hot showers, putting on moisturizer regularly, wearing sunscreen, eating well are not doing the trick. It's worth following up on some of those things. So essential fatty acid deficiency can kind of look like a deficiency of vitamin A. Vitamin A deficiency looks rougher than when you have an essential fatty acid deficiency. Vitamin A deficiency is often associated with hyperkeratosis pilaris, or follicular hyperkeratosis. So that's small, rough, cone-shaped, kind of pointy and hard little dots. It typically shows up on the back and sides of your forearms and thighs, those little bumps. And that's associated with a vitamin A deficiency. Conversion of beta carotene, so that's the type of vitamin A we get from our diets, to the active form of vitamin A is limited in most people's bodies, but people that have this hyperkeratosis pilaris have often been shown to be even worse converters. As well, people with concurrent conditions of hypothyroidism, diabetes, and liver disease also tend to have more of this hyperkeratosis, and it's because it can affect that conversion to the active form of vitamin A. So supplementing with essential fatty acids and vitamin A for at least 1 month, sometimes it takes longer, can help reduce water loss through the skin and increase hydration from the inside. And another factor to consider when you tend to be low in a few fat-soluble vitamins is whether your pancreatic enzymes that help digest fats are working optimally. So people who can absorb those fats, of course, won't receive the benefits, and it can show up in the skin. So we are coming up on the 45-minute mark, and I just wanted to check in to see if anyone watching has any questions. Please post them up in the comments section, and I will answer them as best as I can. I'll do a quick review now. So in this talk, what I hope you took away is that healthy is beautiful, and health starts with what you put in your body. So you can put on as much externally to look good momentarily, but the longer game is actually eating well and making changes in your diet that are aligned with your skin goals, and reducing refined sugars, flours, processed food, dairy products, often with acne, those things generally, as well as known allergens and sensitivities, as skin also relates to your immune system, is a really great place to start. Protecting the skin that you have against premature aging from the sun through using sunscreen regularly, when the UV is greater than 3, and not forgetting to reapply. Sunburns, may lead to things like skin cancer down the road, and unsightly wrinkles. Although when we're young and in the moment enjoying the sun, we kind of sweep that to the back of our head. It is a large part of prevention, being sun smart. And also you can always use physical coverings, finding shade in the forest, using wide brimmed hats, and sun protective clothing even. And then supplements. Consider supplements like collagen, biotin, lycopene, considering how you're showering, moisturizing as soon as possible after, as the water it's wet, and we think about hydration when we're drinking water, but through our skin it's very easy for moisture to evaporate. And using something like a dry skin brush to further nourish the boundary. These are all things you can do generally to improve not only your skin health, but your overall health. And that is worth some time and attention. It shouldn't be just an afterthought that we cover up with makeup or avoid getting to the root cause of. So before I sign off, just wanted to do a last pitch. If you're already watching this video, you have been fulfilling some of the tasks on Brio, the Brio Bingo game card, which include watching Facebook Live or recording. Don't have the game card with me. Oh, here it is. So that's liking and commenting on Brio Facebook Live. Also sharing it with someone on social media. That'll give you another square. And you've got just 2 more weeks to play and have some fun while improving your total health. Your skin will thank you for it. The signs might not be immediate, but a healthier you is healthier skin. And the contest ends Sunday, June 21st, Father's Day. So with that, hashtag Rio Bingo. I'm Dr. Vanessa. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your weekend.